Good morning to some of you and good afternoon to most of you. It's great to be here again this year and to introduce something that is indeed very near and dear to my heart, as I am sure it is to most of you who have active alumni bands associated with your programs. I discovered many years ago when I first got to the UW how important the alumni band is to our program, how they're able to step in and cover games that we can't during breaks, cover gigs that we can't. And so we've had an active program for a number of years, but in my desire to find out what other schools are doing and how we might enhance our alumni band program, we did host the first ever alumni band symposium 4 years ago. And I think that was really informative and helpful to the schools that attended. And then thankfully, Texas took the concept and ran with it 2 years ago, and eventually leading to the establishment of the National Association of Alumni Bands. And so with it's great pleasure and honor to present to you the first president of that organization. He's the past president of the Longhorn Alumni Band Association. You're going to find him to be a wealth of information to all of you that you can apply to your own alumni bands or even your fledgling programs if you're just starting an alumni band program. Please welcome Geof Sloan.
Hello, thank you, Brad and Mark and Barry. Thank you. I hope everybody can hear me okay. I'm going to go in and share my screen here. And I just want to start out and say thank you to Brad McDavid at the University of Washington for setting the seed of what this organization is really all about. And so I'm going to jump into the slideshow here real quick. Give me just a second. Sorry. There we go. As you see here, with much fanfare, the National Association of Alumni Bands is here. As we go through this presentation today, we're gonna keep it to about 15 minutes here. But I wanted to say, if there is any questions or comments, we've got some of our folks on the committee that are going to be answering questions live on the fly. If there's any detailed questions that you have, please send those to us at info@alumnibands.org, and we will respond in time to get back to you with some answers about the questions that you have. As you see here, our mission is to be the indispensable advocate and resource for alumni bands. This all started back in 2015 with Brad taking the initiative, and he had the first vision of bringing together like-minded folks that are interested in growing and sustaining alumni band programs. A couple of years went by. Dr. Scott Hanna at the University of Texas, we put together a concept of having an alumni band symposium in Austin that year. And as we designed the sessions for that program, it dawned on us that this was something that was an initiative that was gaining traction. And we really felt like this was the time to organize and formalize our alumni across the country. With that, we went to the symposium that was held back at the University of Washington last year. And at that time, we formed an organizing committee and we started getting our ducks in line and putting things together. And since this time last year, today actually was the day that we were hoping to debut this at the CBDNA conference in Cincinnati, but COVID has changed our plans and changed the things that we were expected to do. So here we are. This is the leadership of the organization. This past 6 months, we've gone through the process of writing the governing documents, creating the bylaws, creating the long-term plan that everybody put together to see this organization through. And this is the committee that's also the organizing committee that put together the organization. Myself, I was very humbled to be elected as the first president of the association, but the people that you see on the screen, Tom Waldrop from Clemson, Lee Butts from Georgia, Robin from Florida, and Michelle, both from Florida, and also Linda from Georgia. And this is an incredible group of alumni that are passionate, they're energetic, they're excited about what we're doing. And I couldn't be more thrilled than to have them on this team. And this team is also going to be growing. We've looked at the bylaws that the CBDNA has, and we really like the structure that you guys have. And so we've emulated that a little bit with the National Association of Alumni Bands. And we look to have regional officers that will work in concert with the alumni bands in that region to help grow this organization. You'll see here that these are the charter members that met at the various symposiums. And in 2018, when I put this to the floor and asked the participants in that symposium what they thought about this, it was a resounding unanimous vote of yes, that this was something that we needed to do. And these are all the supporters of the programs. And we're really excited to have these first 24, 25 alumni band programs as part of our charter membership for the National Association of Alumni Bands. And we welcome each and every one of those. And what we're doing at this time also with the regional officers and the committee is we are actually making personal calls to each of these charter members and discussing with them what their needs are, welcoming them to the organization, as also talking to them about who are the people that they know out there that can bring more people to the organization, more bands. How do we help you as the collegiate band directors? We all know that you're working towards dealing with the fall season this year, and the alumni are out there also trying to do some forward thinking for the future as well. We know that there's advocacy, there's involvement that you guys have. We're trying to help you guys with alumni relations, donor relations, university relations. One of the things that Dr. Hannah and I talk about at the University of Texas with the Longhorn Alumni Band is that, as you all know, we're one large, big band family. And one thing that we tell our alumni and our students is that really there's only one difference in our family, and one is a student and one is a graduate. Last night I was listening to the session that Dr. John Pasquale was talking about with at Michigan, and listening to those donor questions that was so important to the sustainability of our organizations. And I can't think of a better thing that we're doing right now to come in to help you as the collegiate athletic band director. And you'll see my quote here where it says, "Mighty oaks grow from little acorns." And Geoffrey Chaucer was the one who came up with that quote back in 1374. And I can't see that that's any different than what we're doing today. And we really hope that the things that we're going to be doing in concert with the college band directors is something that will really make a great marriage between the alumni and also the student band. What do we hope to bring as our experience and knowledge? Let's all face it, we're alumni. We're a little bit more mature. We've got a lot more wisdom since the days that we graduated from college. We have a larger network base. We're trying to build community both within our own organizations that we work for, but also back with the constituents and the friends that we had back in our days in college band. We've gone through some experiences in life, and we figured out what are the best practices that we need to have. And so we try to bring these things to the table for our alumni bands. The National Association is going to be building a resource library for all of our members so that we can share this information back and forth. And we really feel like the advantage of putting this organization together is that we have a larger voice. We have more information to work with. We have more data that we can share. What that does is it allows us to be an advocate for you, the college band director, and also for our alumni and for things that are going on at the university as well. thus we're going to be much more involved. The other thing that we'll be able to do is we'll be able to produce an annual report, hopefully with the information that we're gleaning from all the different alumni bands from around the country. And so we think that the things that you guys are learning right now on this virtual webinar over the past 2 days, the things that you're doing day to day, running your organizations and your bands, know that there is also alumni out there that are just as passionate, that have the same energy, and bring that loyalty back to your campus. And so we're gathering all these things from our alumni, and we hope to be able to provide these things again at the Alumni Symposium. So this year, during the COVID situation, as we saw the change in social distancing and whatnot, and I was in conversation with Barry and also Mark about is the Cincinnati Symposium going to happen as early January. We began to discuss that, and we came to the realization that obviously this was not going to happen, and so we immediately kicked into high gear on the alumni side, to where we were already planning on having virtual webinars for our alumni. We didn't really want the train to stop. We felt like this was an initiative that was very important, and we weren't going to let COVID stop us and slow us down. So what we're hoping to offer is some game-changing advice to the alumni that are out there. And there's some excellent programs that are already doing some fabulous things out there. So we hope to learn from them and leverage the experience that they've got, and allow newer alumni bands that are 1, 2, 3, 4 years old, 5 years old, to allow them to learn from some of the more structured and seasoned alumni bands around the country. What's our target for membership? We're looking at obviously the existing alumni bands that are out there. We're going to be reaching out to you as the band director to find out what's going on within your own organization. Do you have an alumni band? Are you interested in putting an alumni band together? So if you don't have one, then what we're going to ask is that you consider, is this something that's working for your program? Is it something that your alumni are interested in doing? We'll put together some folks that can mentor some of your alumni so that we can do some of that heavy lifting for you. By our calculation, we see that there's maybe 240, 250 collegiate programs with athletic bands. Those would be our targeted members. One of the things that I've looked at also is how many alumni or how many graduates are each of you graduating each year from your own college program. And if we take all these potential athletic bands that are out there, I'm guesstimating anywhere from 10 to 15,000 students are graduating each year that become band alumni. And if we exponentialize those numbers, the 500,000 estimated band alumni that are out there right now may be a low estimate, but that is our potential voice for you as the college band director. And so we want to tap into those folks. Some of them are doing really well. Some alumni bands have great communications with their alumni. Some bands are struggling due to whatever logistic issues they have with figuring out the database, figuring out how to get in touch with those members. Alumni move around a lot. So we hope to bring some solutions to these problems within your organization. How we're going to do that, obviously we're not going to be doing any symposiums this year. From the get-go, the committee decided that we were going to be doing some roundtables throughout this year. And then next year, when CBDNA comes back to meet in person, and we hope that all works together, then throughout between now and then, we plan on having 1 or 2 roundtable virtual webinars, just like the CBDNA webinars that are going on yesterday and today. Through that process, we'll find out who needs the one-on-one mentoring, who needs some help, who needs to learn what the roadmap is, who needs to get some feedback about what they need to do to start. Ultimately, the goal is to provide all these resources to these alumni band leaders that are going to be members of the organization. Our knowledge is vast. We feel like the charter members and the folks that are participating in the National Association of Alumni Bands have some incredible success stories. So we are going to be building an archive of these success stories from our members, from starting an alumni band. How do we attract graduates? How do we recruit leadership? And these were all sessions that we did both in Austin in 2018 and back in Seattle last year. These are all paneled working sessions where the alumni brought the problems that they were having within their organization to the meeting, and in an open forum, we discussed, people brought up great ideas and great solutions. And so we felt like that had some incredible traction. So putting these success stories and sharing these with all the other alumni and also with you as the college band director is something that we found would be very resourceful to you. What are the hot topics of today? Obviously, we're all dealing with the risk of COVID and how we mitigate that. It's a changing market. And what I mean by that is that the alumni, if we take the alumni from the Longhorn Alumni Band, for example, we span 7 decades of membership. And so we've got folks that were in the band back in the early 1950s to our most recent graduates this past week. And so that's a very wide sweep of social group that we're dealing with. And, you know, when we talk to our officers in the organization about how we communicate, and we want to reach each of those different decades of members. And occasionally we have to handle the unexpected. COVID is one of those deals. And so these will be some of the topics that we discuss in our first set of virtual roundtables with our members that attend. And what's going to be our message to our members also? We're going to ask them to have a little bit of patience, because listening over the past 2 days to these sessions that CBDNA is having, obviously you band directors out there are having a lot of things thrown at you right now, and there's a lot of unknown that's happening. So we're going to ask our folks to be patient with you and take your lead. We're going to be supportive of those issues that you're dealing with, and we want to find out where we can help and where we can take some things off your plate. And we want to have our members to be engaging with you guys to find out what are some of the problems that you're having. How can the alumni jump in and help? What's the big ask? The big ask is we want you to get your alumni band on the bandwagon. We want you to talk and communicate with your alumni bands. And if you don't have an alumni band, we would ask that you consider, is this something that is right for your organization? Are your alumni interested in doing it? But for whatever reason, the traction just has not been lifted. And so that's where we hope to be able to come in to help you guys. Tell us your needs through your alumni reps. The alumni reps, every different alumni band is going to have a unique issue. And by us gathering this information and this data from each of the alumni bands, I think that we can collectively come up with some solutions to help you guys. Excuse me. We also are going to be involving multiple representatives from your alumni bands, both current officers or board members, but also some past leadership that have maybe been involved that helped usher your alumni band through the growing stages or through some of the development stages, or even some of those folks that were big participants in donor relations with your organization. And so this is where this communication and the relationship starts to be built. There's some information that we've got on our website, alumnibands.org, where we have a Facebook page and a Twitter account. Again, the contact email for us is info@alumnibands.org. We've got a flyer that the potential members can download and take a look at what are the benefits of being a member in the National Association of Alumni Bands. How do you get in touch with us? Where are we located? Where do we have our member bands around the country? My call to action to you as college band directors around the country, encourage your alumni to join and to learn and get on the bandwagon. One of the things that I tell our own alumni band here at UT is tell a friend, bring a friend. You'll hear me talk to our committee and our officers within the National Association. And I always like to say, what are you bringing to the party? And so ask your alumni band members, what are they bringing to your party as well, so that they can participate, be engaged, and show that loyalty and passion that they have already. So let's tap into that. Lastly, there's a survey on our website. You'll see right there on the screen under the picture here, the big red button in the middle. If your alumni will click on that, it opens up a survey for people to update their information and give us some information about their own alumni band. So lastly, finally, I'll close out with, we are excited and proud to be endorsed by CBDNA. We're excited to be part of this, the webinar that you guys are having today. I'd just like to say thank you to Barry and Mark for having us today. And again, if y'all have questions, reach out to us at info@alumniband.org and check out our website.